Okay, I think that was pretty interesting and pretty cool to see the fusion. Right, so can we have the PPT, please? Yeah, so this year we're having a mid-year meetup. Okay, so let me just explain to you what this is. So for the last 12 years, we've been mentoring students to get into their dream schools. Um, IITs, NIDs, NIFTs, the top architecture schools, the CEPTs, all of those. And over the last few years, we've been doing this very, very informally, meaning in the classrooms at the studio level, we used to do this. But this year we said, let's do it differently. Let's call everyone to a central location and celebrate really our journey forward. Um, what we're going to do is we're going to be briefing you about what we call as the DQ Labs way. Um, right. But before we start off, there are three responses. This is a beautiful quote that I've found. There are three responses to a piece of design: yes, no, and wow. Wow is the one we aim for. This is by Milton Glaser. Anyone knows what Milton Glaser has done? Okay. Next. So this is, have you seen these logos, right? So these are very, very famous logos. And that's what we strive to do. Uh, Whatever we do, or our students do, has to be wow, okay? Next. So today we are going to, this is the agenda that's going to happen over the next few hours. So initially the welcome, then the exam updates, learning smart and learning fast, the DQ Labs way. Now, this is a very, very important session conducted by Umesh. Then a few of our past students, their parents are going to be speaking and the students are going to be speaking as well. Some cultural activities by our students. We have a few design schools that are present here as well, just so that you can interact with them and get some kind of an idea of what happens and what these design schools are about. Exam strategy, another very important session. This is for all the exams conducted by Sean. And then we have a very unique program called the Design Exploration Program. A lot of the kids here have gone through that program. It's a very interesting thing. So today is a certificate distribution ceremony and a small presentation of each student, just 1-minute presentations. And then finally, a vote of thanks, all right? Can we go to the next slide, please? Right, so a lot of y'all have seen this mascot around, right? So this is the mascot of DQ Labs, but he really doesn't have a name. So it'll be interesting if y'all can give some suggestions for a name. What y'all can do is WhatsApp your suggestion along with an explanation to the DQ Labs phone numbers to your counselors, and we'll announce it at a later stage, right? Next slide, please. Poshita is going to come in a little while, so we're going to skip this slide. Okay, so we'll start off with exam updates. Next. A very interesting thing. So at this point, there's not too many, not all the exam updates are out yet, but I'll just briefly go through this. We will talk about this in the later session when Sean has his session. But this year, NID is on the 29th of December. Okay, it's a very, very significant change. It's never happened before. So it's always been in the first Sunday of January. This year, they've kept it on the last Sunday of December. Excuse me. Always expect surprises in the NID exam. All these years, it used to be 30% of sketching and 70% of aptitude. The last 2019 was the opposite, okay? So 70% of sketching and 30% of aptitude. So you can always expect surprises. USEED and SEED has been announced already. It's on Saturday, the 18th of January. This year, a very significant change is that in USEED, they've included sketching. A very, very significant change. Please note of this. As far as architecture goes or fashion goes, the official announcements are not out yet, but usually JA Paper 2 is held twice a year. So second week of Jan, you can expect this, or the first week of April. I'm sorry, I've got a cough, a bit of a cough, but yeah. So no significant changes are expected. The formats are pretty much standard every year. Again, we will cover that later. NATA is usually in April and in July. However, this year, we are not sure whether they would advance the July dates. We're not sure whether they may have more options. So you can expect a change in the second attempt date. NIFT is always usually on the third Sunday, okay, of January. And FDDI is another institute of national importance. Not very competitive to get in there yet, but it's a college you need to look out for. Okay? Next slide, please. Right, so we've finished off with one part of it, Umesh. We'll start off with this. The next session is being taken by Umesh. It's called the DQ Labs Way, Learning Smart and Learning Fast. Just so you know, excuse me. Yeah, so just so you know, all of y'all are using a platform called DQ Edge, right? So we have just won a very, very significant award for this platform. So the platform is hosted on something called examplay.com, okay? Examplay is a learning assessment platform, okay? So what happens is Examplay processes the information and gives out a good report, an analytical report. Now, this is something that we have created ourselves. It's a DQ Labs invention, and we have just received the NASSCOM award for Examplay, okay? Thank you. It's a very significant award. It's been recognized as a platform that would create a global impact. And it would help any learner to learn more effectively. So whether it's preparing for an entrance exam, whether it is maybe in a company, you have learning and development programs, it could help in those areas for job exams. So for any place where you need effective learning, that's where Examplay can come into the picture. So we have developed this in 2017, or we started our development in 2012, but in 2017 it took good shape. And from 2017, we've been formally administering it to our students. We've been improving on it. And we've found that all the top students have used it very, very effectively. And one of the reasons we are calling you here and having this session in specific is to educate you on the importance of this particular tool and how it can help you and how you can use this to strategize and clear the exam. Just still they set up. We have a very good conversion ratio, which Sean will tell you. Almost 1 in 5 students or 1 in 6 students secure an admission into an IIT or an NID from DQ Labs. Okay, when the All India average is maybe 1 in 100 students or 2 in 100 students.